What's up, YouTube? I'm Vaughn, and this is the Gear channel where we discuss collectibles, hobbies, competitive games from tabletop to video games. And we're back with our ancient gears, and we're against Ritual Beast. So make sure to hit that subscribe button because it really helps the channel a lot, and I really do appreciate it. And friendly reminder, as always, to definitely follow me on my Facebook page. And if you have some awesome replays, send it to me, and we're going to review it here on the channel. And it doesn't even matter what format it is, we're going to review all of them. So we're going to be seeing who's going first, and I do believe it's the opponent. So opening hands, we have Ancient Gear Fortress, Ancient Gear Tanker, Frame, Urgent Schedule, and another Tanker. So not really the greatest hand, but it's definitely durable. They have Dimension Shifter, Imperm, the Continuous Surge, the Elder, and a Ash Blossom, okay? So they're going to go with the spell first. And they're going to go and reveal to go and add, and they're looking through the deck. And now they want to change the dimension shifter. Now the thing is that technically it is too late because they want to chain it just in case we have draw and Lockbird. So it makes perfect sense. The reason why I allow it is because I want the most experience out of this match. So like this is a very low rank match. So I don't mind letting my opponent take place like this, like if they forgot something, because in the end I want them to have the best board possible. And even now I told him like to go all out, do like everything that he wants, don't worry about like hand traps and all that, because I want the most experience I could get out of this match so I could work on how to interact with these type of cards. And also even consistency of my own deck is that, oh, maybe the stuff I would take out and all that, because on these type of situations, like this is not a good card. And this is something that I think a lot of people should do, because especially at a low rank like this, if you are in a higher rank or even at like event with higher tier like events, they won't make these type of mistakes. So you're going to deal with these type of plays later in the future. So why not get prepared with it now, so you have a lot more experience when you start doing like higher tier events or getting to higher rank matches. So this is why I think it's very good to actually practice as much as you can. So they're going all out, and you know what? We're happy. We're going to see exactly how we could deal with his board, and especially that he has us under shifter. There's a lot of stress in dealing with this game right here, and he's just going all out. So very, very nice. Okay, make the Tomahawk. Now he's not making the Protos or Colossus, so that's fine with us. And then they're going to go and set the trap. We drew into Lightning Storm. Now look at this. So in total, like if we didn't have the Lightning Storm, you know what, we're going to have like a hard time dealing with this card. But you know what, like I think we were still like durable of actually making a decent play. So first off, we're going to definitely do that Lightning Storm to get rid of the back row. And then we're going to go and everything gets banished too because of shifter. Okay, now we're going to go into Ancient Gear Fortress. They're going to go and banish it, which is a good call. And then we're going to go and use the Urgent Schedule, which is going to allow us to special summon, but they asked that. And now we're going to go to the Tanker. So how are we going to win this game? Quite simple. We're going to use the Frame. We're going to get Advance. Now we're going to use Advance. Get the Fortress. Because once I realized, I'm like, yeah, we have game, okay? So Fortress does not care of where it ends up after it gets destroyed. As long as it gets destroyed in the spell and chop zone, it's going to trigger. The only thing that does not trigger is Gear Town. So Gear Town and the Shifter is pretty dead. So a lot of times for game 2 or 3, I'll actually side out the Gear Towns, because if my opponent is playing Shifter, it's just going to be a dead card for us. So we're going to go and make Ballista, and we're going to add the Dark Golem, and now we're going to use Ballista to make his like monster 0, and then we're going to go and destroy it, triggering the effect, get a Dark Golem. We're going to add the Fusion and the Gear Town since it's pretty dead. So we're going to go and use it, and then we're going to go use Ancient Gear Fusing since we can still use it on the shifter. We're going to get our Chaos Giant, and this is definitely lethal, okay? Now for game 2. So we did side in just to see what we're going to handle and deal with, and you know what? Our open hand is not so bad. So we have a Draw Lockbird, a Ancient Gear Wyvern, Ancient Gear Fortress, Forbidden Droplet, Heat Wave, and our opponent has Laura, Imperm, nib, which we haven't seen in quite a bit of time, but we always play around it just in case. The other Laura, and then a Ghost Mourner. So very, very nice. So we are starting first. So we obviously just do the Heat Wave, and then we pass. So we're not going to do anything else. No setting the Forbidden Droplet just in case. They drew into Harpy's Feather Duster. We're going to draw into Ancient Gear Advance. Now, we really had to think, and the reason why is because there is so many stuff that could potentially harm us. So we could deal with a droll, a shifter, a nib, and it was just like considering like what is the right play to like avoid all this. And even when I was thinking of like all the type of OTKs that we could potentially do, it was just like it was too much resources. So like if we got hit with one of them on the appropriate time, we will lose all our resources and we will not have any follow-up. So we had to play this very carefully. So first thing I did was the fortress and the advance. Okay, so we add the catapult in case our opponent does the draw. No draw. So I want to keep the fortress just in case, but I didn't want to use it on the advance just yet. So in case if we need like to tribute for the draw, or like depending on the situation, like it is very like handy like for that. So I would decide to do this, which was the Wyvern. Okay, so we use the Wyvern. We add another fortress to guarantee. Now we're going to activate it. Now we're going to use advance to draw into Harpy's Feather Duster, which is not the greatest, but still, it's okay. Now we're going to use Catapult to go and destroy the Fortress. We're going to get the Dark Golem. Now we're going to use Fortress as 2 and Golem as 1. So Golem is going to go add a 2 and a discard. So we're going to get Frame and Tanker and discard the Tanker. And then Fortress is going to resolve because we did have Wyvern already in the graveyard. So we could trigger the Fortress. So now Tanker is going to trigger, get a gear frame, and then we're going to use our gear frame to discard to add, okay? Now, this is only 4 summons. And this is the misplay because I was so overthinking and trying to like figure out a way to OTK our opponent that I did not realize I had game right here. If you're not familiar, let me tell you. You use Tanker's effect to pop the advance. Everyone gains 600. This is, in total with the 600, that's 7,700 damage, okay? Our opponent would be at 300. We just had to make Ancient Gear Fusion, make Howitzer, okay? If our opponent nearby, we're safe because it's unaffected. And then just deal 1,000 with Howitzer, okay? And this is why I was so overwhelmed and thinking of so many interruptions and stuff like that. And even like, I was even thinking of like stuff like in the battle phase, if they had like something like a battle fade or something like really lethal. Like there was too much thinking going involved, and this was just a simple like solution. So I wanted to be very, very safe. So I activate the Ancient Gear Fusion. And I go and make Megaton because it is a floater, okay? And I feel like having floaters and having a Drow and Lockbird was strong just in case if our opponent was very reliant on adding cards that could have made us survive at least one turn. So we're going to go and make Tanker. Our opponent's reading. They're going to go and Nib, which is fine because now our Megaton is going to go and trigger. Megaton is going to go and spell summon the Ancient Gear Ultimate, okay? Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. And we're pretty like decent over here because Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem is actually a good follow-up as well. If it gets destroyed, spell summon the Dark Golem. So we're going to attack. Our opponent's going to take 14. And then after that, we're just going to pass because we can't set, okay, because of advance. So they draw into Effect Veiler. And I'm not so confident in our board, but after they did our Harpies, I'm like, okay, you know what? We could get the Megaton, and this is why it's important to play 2 Ultimate Ancient Gear Golems, is because this type of situation, okay, if they go and they get rid of it by an effect again, you can suppose summon another one. And I know a lot of people are playing only 1 of this, and I'm like, that is a very big misplay. You should always play 2 of this card, okay? And you're going to see in a moment why it's so important to play 2 of this. So they're going to go and summon and then take back, and I'm like, it's fine. You know what? Like I said before, we want the most information we could get from this match, okay? So if they could break this board, we're going to learn from a mistake, like or misplay that we just did, that we had game, and we could see like right now that like how impactful we're drawing Lockbird B against this deck as well. So we just want to learn from it. So we don't mind if our opponent's taking back these type of plays. I'll let them do that every single time. If it's later on to higher ranking games, and then we're actually like against like a lot of like players that aren't like making misplays and just scoring like very strong, then I'm like, okay, that's a different situation, okay? So then they're going to go all out, and then we're going to go on the res board, activate the Duel. They're going to do the penguin, send, and then they're going to just keep on coming. So we're like, okay, make the link, go get an additional summon, go special, use the effect to banish, and everyone gains 500. And now our opponent's thinking, and make Borosword Dragon. Now I was checking if everything like seemed locked, and yes, you know what? I will admit I'm not too familiar with Ritual Beast. For me, I'm like, it's just a deck that just takes so long to combo just for like an end board of sometimes making Protos or Colossus. But besides that, I'm like, never had a problem with Ritual Beast. So they're going to go and attack. They're going to use the effects. So that Borosword Dragon is going to be at 6,100 now. Then they're going to attack into the Megaton because they didn't want us to trigger our Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. So they're going to go and banish, go and spell summon, and that's the one that you cannot target your Ritual Beast. We draw into Ancient Gear Duel, which is incredible. But I felt very safe, and I'll explain why. So we had Ancient Gear Catapult in the graveyard. So no matter what, we were definitely going to get a spell summon. So our droplet was going to save us regardless of the hand traps. So we're going to start with Commander and get Ancient Gear Duel. Now Ancient Gear Catapult, because I was debating of just crashing into this and triggering and then doing that, but then I'm like, no, let's commit during the main phase in case depending where our opponent has, and then work around that, because if we did that in the battle phase, then it gives us less option of plays that we could do. So we're going to go and pop our Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, get the token, get the dark, trigger the dark. They're going to go and chain Imprum. We're going to go and chain Ancient Gear Duel, okay? So no matter what, we were so safe, because if our opponent, and even if it's the other way around, let's say if we go into the battle phase, and we activate Ancient Gear Duel, and they chain Imprum to it, that is where like a lot of stuff like changes quite a bit. That would have been the appropriate play. But one card that I would have added with this, okay, is that I want to add a Ancient Gear Fortress or Advance. Add the Advance, get the Fortress, and then we will have another card for Droplet. So no matter what, we were going to get a card for Droplet so we could use it on this. So it's going to be half the attack, and we were definitely going to get over it no matter what. And that would have been game actually. But yeah, that's why he left, because we definitely have OTK. These cards are completely dead because of Ancient Gear Duel, because we're not going to be playing anything that doesn't mention Ancient Gear Golem. So we weren't going to make a Ballista or anything like that. I would have went and added the Advance and a card that we could just discard that might benefit us. So then we could use the Advance, go and add, and then Forbidden Droplet, and then just see if we had a period of time that we could, because most likely they would have to chain the Imprum as soon as we activate the Ancient Gear Fortress, which is going to force us to use this, because any other time they won't be able to chain it to it. And that was like probably the most like impactful and important play to actually do. But yeah, we did top deck our Ancient Gear Duel, but I wasn't too worried. Like I said, Ancient Gear Catapult was going to pop this anyways. We were going to spell summon Dark Golem. If they chain the Imprum, we will activate the Forbidden Droplet, which is going to go and send it for cost. So then they can't chain an Effect Veiler towards it or Ghost Mona towards it. So we were still at, and then we would continue our play just like that. And that's it for our match duel. If you guys enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. And like I said, once again, if you have awesome replays that you want to send here to have a review here on the channel, follow me on my Facebook page and message me your awesome replay. I'm Vaughn, and this is the Gear Channel.